How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in a recent post that I put on YouTube, I asked all of you to share your thoughts about what confused or confuses you the most about RuneScape 3. I'll let you guys know that the comments may be used in a future video, but guys, if you've commented and your name looks like your real name, I will blur it out, but otherwise it's absolutely fine. I'll put them up there. But today we're going to be going through these comments. We're going to be talking about what confused you or confuses you the most, and I will give a little bit of input on those as well. Maybe I can answer a few questions for some of you guys, and we'll see if we can help anyone else out who maybe had the same issues as you. Anyway, let's jump into this. Let's see how it goes. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, do subscribe if you are new, and I'll be doing more of these. In fact, there's another one out at the moment already, so if you want to be part of the next video, go ahead and comment on that, and I will maybe get to your comment and include that as well. Anyway, let's jump into this and let's see what you guys thought. Okay, so the first comment is the fact that I still play it after 13 years. Now that's confusing. Okay, I mean, to be fair, a lot of people try and quit this game but always come back. So you've probably all heard the saying, you never quit RuneScape, you just take a long break. So that is probably what you're going through with that, but that's absolutely fine. I expect that you're probably still having quite a lot of fun in game anyway. Just Wolf says, mostly the new combat system. I played for almost a decade before I lost interest and quit, and then I came back when I heard about EOC. I quit again because I didn't want to deal with learning that. I did eventually come back and I learned what I needed to, and it honestly felt like it was a much better game now because of EOC. So I know a lot of people have had this exact same thought. A lot of people quit when EOC came out. Literally between like 80 and 90% of the people probably just quit and left the game. I as well. As soon as the EOC came out, I logged in, checked like 3 or 4 things, maybe played for like an hour and went, nope, what the hell have they done, and quit. About 4 or 5 years later, I came back and just decided, you know what, I'm going to learn the game. I don't want to start again in old school. We're just going to give it a shot. I put the time in, learned EOC, and got into all the abilities and stuff, started doing some PVM, and never look back. EOC is actually brilliant. The combat system is great. Once you get past all the difficulties of learning it, it is really, really good. And I know loads of people agree with that, so let me know in the comments, do you think it is better with EOC, or do you kind of wish they'd never introduced EOC into the game? All the different abilities and how to increase DPS. There's a description of each ability in game, but an in-depth tutorial from Jagex in the early game would go a long way. I was doing things like using Dismember and Berserk rotations for the longest time because, oh, it's a big 188% damage basic, but damage over time bleeds aren't boosted. Lots of things about the combat system like this is never covered in game. Only thanks to YouTube can I actually kill any bosses in the game. So this is something as well that I have said in previous videos. I 100% agree with you. I think something like a tutorial for the early game basics and just going through how to use your combat and stuff would go along an absolute long way. I agree with you. It would be really, really good. I feel like it will probably keep people in the game longer. A lot of new players join, look at the combat, can't figure it out and just go, nah, let's move on to the next game, don't like this. However, if they had something to teach you how to use these abilities properly, or even just the basics of how to use them, then I feel like it would go a lot better. At the moment, I think they basically throw Revolution on for you, your abilities automatically slot as you unlock them, and that's pretty much all they do. They just let the abilities fire off by themselves. To me, that just seems like a really, really lazy way of being like, this is how combat works. But you know what? I also agree as well that there is a lot of YouTube guys that will help you out. So if anyone is sort of curious about this, then there's loads of guys that you can check. Always come to YouTube, always see if there's anyone that's made a guide that will explain stuff for you a lot better than it does in game. Next up, we have the concept and intricacies of player-owned ports. I have been playing for almost 15 years, my account is maxed, yet I still don't understand player-owned ports. So there's not really much I can say about this because I have never done player-owned ports. It doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in. So the way I play this game is, if something just doesn't seem like I'd enjoy it, I just don't even bother going and doing it. So personally, I've not got any experience with player-owned ports, so I couldn't even help you out with that, unfortunately. But if anyone knows, drop a comment in the in the comments and let us know. Is this simple, or is there loads of stuff that we need to know? Is it difficult? Share some tips. Next up, we have people who seem to use their feet as well to push all the different buttons for abilities. Like, what the hell, my guy? I can only do so much. Literally. So If any of you haven't seen Evil Lucario doing a stream on Twitch or something like that, when he's doing like a challenge, his PVM is ridiculous. He is on a completely another level. It is unbelievable how fast he can press abilities, how fast he can do actions in games. There are so many people like that as well, and it's absolutely crazy. The people who are doing things like soul split flicking while using all the full manual abilities, but they're clicking their prayers and clicking all their like switches and stuff, and they're faster than me with keybinds. That's insane, and I just can't get my head around it. But yes, there's lots of people like that in game. I guess it just comes from practice and I don't know, just being really good with hand-eye coordination maybe. SwitchScape. I don't understand people with 3 EOFs having multiple of the same weapons in the same inventory just for invention perks or 4 rings at once. Yes, I hate switching so much, but unfortunately sometimes it has to be done. But I completely agree, when people have to do like a preset and they've got multiple EOFs, one with SGB in it and one with the ECB in it and all this other stuff, and then they have the same weapon in the inventory just died differently for a coroming switch, a flanking switch, and then the main hand, it gets really crazy. It'd be nice if they could maybe add more invention perks on the same weapon, possibly. Could that be a thing? I mean, we have the same items anyway, so maybe there's another way around it. If anyone has any suggestions on what they could maybe do, drop it in the comments, let us know, because I feel like, you know, it just does get crazy. Obviously everyone's coping, but sometimes there's just way too much stuff in that inventory to switch with. Up next, we actually have one very similar, the whole SwitchScape idea. When will it stop? Soon they'll add gear pouches so you can bring multiple presets of gear for one fight. Please no, do not give Jagex ideas like this. No, we are not getting gear pouches, for the love of frick. Do not do this. Jagex, if I find one day that there is a gear pouch for me to put all my switches in, no, please just no, altogether no. The next one we have is from Sourced, and he said 4-tick auto attack. That is all he's written. Absolutely fair. So 4-tick auto attack is basically where you go from wearing a wand and an orb to switch to a staff and then force out a spell that isn't your ability. It just allows you to use an extra auto attack every 4 ticks in the game, and it just basically increases your magic damage. However, you've got to keybind your wand and your orb and your staff, and also keybind one of the spells, and then you've got to sort of constantly rotate between your wand, orb, staff, auto attack, wand, orb, staff, auto attack, and ability. It really is crazy, but personally I quite enjoyed doing it. I really didn't want to learn it at first. I thought it was ridiculous, but now that I've learned it, it's really not that bad. Next up, we have mostly mechanics and DPS rotation. I watch a lot of PVMers and I still don't understand it. Also, the huge inflation that makes prices crash and rise a ton. But if I can do the harder bosses, the inflation isn't that big of a problem. Alright, so let's just start with the first one, mechanics and DPS rotation. So personally, when a boss has a ton of mechanics, I'm happy with that. I love having to learn mechanics and having to deal with them, finding out how to deal with them better and all that stuff, absolutely brilliant. DPS rotations on the other hand, yes, this is something that confuses me as well, and I am slowly getting better at it, I think, but sometimes I just look at people and I'm like, how can they possibly be doing twice as much damage as me with the exact same abilities when I am doing this and they're doing this, and somehow they're literally doubling my damage? So that's confusing to me, and it's absolutely crazy. Just like you said, you watch a lot of PVMers and you still don't understand it. I think at that point we may be in the same boat. Also, the huge inflation that makes prices crash and rise a ton. Yes, so for example, when Raksha came out and the everything range basically just shot up a ton just because of the meta. It's absolutely crazy, and I am actually preparing for Magic to do the same for God Wars Dungeon 3. So if you guys are you know, kind of wondering what might be happening there, that's my idea. I'm maybe wrong, I've never been that accurate in the past, but Mage needs a buff, so I really think that God Wars 3 is probably going to buff Magic. So if you want to get in soon, if you're looking at upgrading Magic, now's your time, just to be safe. Lil Dog Guide says, after the tutorial, what do I do? Well, I think you may have a guide on a few things after the tutorial, so maybe you could let us all know, dude. The smithing interface. There is no way new players can understand it. It's even difficult for veterans too. Yes, the frickin' smithing interface. Absolutely crazy. So, this thing confused the absolute living hell out of me straight after the rework. I couldn't work it out. I spent easily 10 to 15 minutes trying to figure it out. Couldn't do it, so I had to ask people to look at screenshots and explain what I had to do. It literally was so confusing. I don't understand like why it has to be so difficult, but yes, it is really, really hard. So basically, you can put all of your ores, all of your bars and materials inside the smithing bank, I guess you would call it. And then from there, you would click the bar or the material you want to use to make something, and then it will open a new menu where it will show you what you can make. So it's definitely confusing, but I believe it does work better, and smithing is now a lot better, but it's just getting through that and understanding it to begin with. Alright, so I am going to end the video here. I hope you all enjoyed, and of course there is some more comments that I didn't quite get to, but I do apologise if I didn't get to your comment. A lot of them are kind of the same sort of thing as well, talking about DPS and talking about rotations and switches, all that sort of stuff, so I did only pick like a couple of those to go through. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, and of course if you did enjoy the video and you are new to the channel, then do subscribe as well. If there is anything else in the game that has confused you in the past or confused you at the moment, maybe leave a comment down below. It'd be quite interesting to read through all the other stuff that you guys have been confused with as well. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to my current channel members. We have Maka, Sam, GriffoTubes and Andy V. Thank you all so much for your extra support. I really do appreciate it. And if anyone else is interested in the perks that these guys do get for being a channel member, then click the join button, buy that subscribe button, and have a look and see what you can get for yourselves. Again, thank you all guys so much.